to everybody. As you are aware that this is Fire Safe Bharat Series 8. The purpose of this online platform is sharing knowledge with experience, mean caring, brotherhood and community. We are calling experienced people on this platform to get insight of their entire life experience, technical expertise, what are the strength of that particular organization, from where they are working, and how they are doing, and what we can learn from their good practices, and what are the strength, weakness, opportunity and threat of fire services. So now, not taking more time, I am directly inviting to Mr. Maheshwara SWAIN sir, CFO Odisha Fire Services. To first, we request him to share his qualification, experience, and technical qualification, whatever he has seen till now, and later on he can share few things, whatever he want to share about the Odisha Fire Services and the geographical, you can say the area or geographical statistics of Odisha and the environment challenges and uh, building layout about low-rise building and high-rise building. What are the Odisha condition on these points? So over to Maheshwara SWAIN sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to all the participants in this virtual more of a training session, interaction section. Myself, MAHWSWAR SWAIN, Chief Fire Officer, Odisha State. Actually, I am a postgraduate plus MA LLB. My qualification is MA LLB. And I completed my DO course from NFS in Nagpur. I have also completed MI Fire on Disaster Management, and I have been working in Odisha Fire Service as a Chief Fire Officer for last since 2016, and now I am looking after the administration of Odisha Fire Service. I was the director of Odisha Fire and Disaster Response Academy for 4 years before I joined here as a Chief Fire Officer of Odisha. So I am also a guest faculty of National Fire Service College in Nagpur. I have attended many classes of DO students. Now for the last 4 to 5 years I have not visited due to work burden here in Odisha. So before I go to in details, I want to tell something about Odisha Fire Service. I want to begin like this. In the last few days, 1 week before, there was a meeting convened by NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, in collaboration with Bihar Disaster Management Authority. And it was attended by all the fire services, police, civil defense, home guards, etc. And in that meeting, the director NDRF, he said that the Odisha Fire Service is the best disaster response force, even better than the NDRF. And he commented. And Mr. O.P. Singh, one of the members of NDM, said that all the states should follow the Odisha model fire services. So why they said like this? Why this is such, I want to tell you. You can also, you are from different fire services, you can also build your fire service like Odisha Fire Service. So what is the success story of Odisha Fire Service? Why it is has been acknowledged throughout India? I want to tell something like this. Odisha Fire Service after 1999 super cyclone, in which in Odisha 10,000 people have lost their life. At that time, the fire services of Odisha, they were only attending as a firefighting unit. And after 1999, we decided to turn our fire service into a disaster response force. That means a multi-hazard response unit. So we decided to open a fire station in each and every block. Odisha is the only state now in India where we have a fire station in each and every block. Besides, we have more fire stations in urban areas. In total, Odisha is a small state, developing state. Many people say it is a poor state, but till we have 340 fire stations in our state. That means we have covered all blocks. So then we equipped the fire stations. Now 340 fire stations are functioning in its own building. They have their full strength. There is no vacancies. Government has no restriction. And we are not taking accommodation in rented accommodation for our fire station. Then we opened the fire station, equipped our fire stations as a multi-hazard response unit. How we equipped, how to combat the cyclone situation, how to combat the flood situation, how to combat the fire situation. Any type of a disasters we are able to combat. How? Then we decided that we have to do the capacity building of our personnel so that we can mitigate the disasters. Our state is very prone to natural calamities. Every year we experience flood. Every year we experience cyclone. So we decided that we have to do something for our people. So now you must be knowing Odisha Fire Service, Odisha state has become a model for even in international level as the best disaster response management for its best disaster management. How it is possible? Because we have a disaster response force at each and every block. And this is the only fire service which have three training establishments. We have an academy, we have an institution, we have a watermanship training center. And a small state having its own fire service comprising of 5,700 personnel, having three training centers. And it is running throughout the year. In shifts, in re-shifts, we emphasize on refresher course of training. Every fire service person has to undergo training at least once in a year in the training centers. So that we continue the training program, we build them as per our requirements. We sensitize them with the new equipments and gadgets we procure, so that these people they become a complete firefighter. Do you know that there is a saying, the duty of a fireman is when you are in doubt, call fire brigade. That means you are in doubt, call fire brigade means any type of incident you come across in your life, you should take the help of the fire service. So we should build ourselves like that. Then we started equipping ourselves. Then we decided to have a robust training system, and we established three training centers, and we continued the training, build our forces accordingly. And when natural, and you must not be knowing, we have now in our fire service 376 power boats. 376 power boats. We have 1,012 mechanical saw. We have about 1,200 tower lights and many more cutting, spreading gears, cutting gears, everything we have. We have equipped our fire stations accordingly. Whenever the flood comes, then fire service come out with 300 power boats. It is a great challenge, and the state government, our ministers, they feel that fire service is doing something. And being the firefighters, you must agree with me that the firefighting is a thankless job throughout the world. Because by the time we reach a fire spot, there must be loss of life. there must be loss of properties. So why people will accept you, give you a thank? No, because they have already have their own loss. So why they will appreciate you? But in case of a disaster, when you save a life, some people are marooned, some people are capsized, some big vehicles have been capsized, there is a road accident, the people are trapped inside the machineries, inside the vehicles, there is a leakage of LPG on the national highway, there is a overturning of a truck carrying inflammable material. These are the potential hazards, these are the potential incidents which pose risk to the life of the people. So they expect a help in that time. And if a fireman turns up at that time and renders his help, then only that bags thanks from the people. So if you want to be acknowledged as a firefighter, you must build yourself as a best disaster response force. So we decided that even the situation became same when there was Hudhud. Hudhud was a cyclone which struck Andhra Pradesh, devastated the Vizag city. The people, Andhra Pradesh at that time, Chandrababu Naidu was CM, and he talked to our CM, Mr. Navin Patnaik, and asked for the help. And Navin Patnaik ji ordered that Odisha Fire Service should move. And we, 350 personnel, moved to Andhra Pradesh. We stayed there for 15 days. Everything was cleaned and cleared. The Vizag city and its periphery was restored. And there was a lot of happiness, and the people were just appreciating, applauding our personnel. You will be astonished to hear that our people were offered with lunch, dinner, breakfast, gully, street to street, they were being appreciated. And they returned successfully, triumphantly. And Chandrababu Naidu appreciated them with a check of 5 lakhs rupees to our boys. And they returned to Odisha successfully. And this was appreciated by NDMA also. Yes, Odisha Fire Service is capable of doing such things. So it was there in their mind. And when there was a Kerala flood situation, and Odisha Fire Service people were appreciated, was airlifted from Odisha and were landed at Kerala. We landed at Kerala with 100 power boats and 250 personnel, and they stayed there for 15 days. They did all the salvage work, rescued many people, and that was also appreciated by NDMA. Then you might be heard there was a mine disaster in Meghalaya, and there Navy was pressed into service, NDRF was pressed into service, and Odisha Fire Service was asked to render its hand. So helping hand. Just imagine, there was an incident in Meghalaya, there was some mine disaster there, people were trapped inside the mine, and Indian Navy was pressed into service, NDRF was pressed into service, then the third team was a team from Odisha Fire Service. It was a requisition by the NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, and we were also airlifted to Meghalaya. And then came the cyclone Amphan. It was also a super cyclone. It devastated the West Bengal, the Kolkata and nearby cities. It was devastating. And the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mr. Mamata Banerjee, she approached our Chief Minister, yes, your state disaster response team should come to West Bengal to help us. And at that time, again a decision was taken that the Odisha Fire Service has to move. And I personally, with 372 personnel, we moved to West Bengal. We stayed there in Kolkata. We took shelter in the Salt Lake Stadium and started our operation. In 15 days, the entire Kolkata, Howrah and its nearest vicinity area was cleaned, restored. There was a restoration of electricity, restoration of communication, restoration of water supply, everything was done, and that was also appreciated by the West Bengal government, and our personnel were also appreciated by our government. The thing is, you must be astonished, by the time we were pressed into service to West Bengal, at that time West Bengal was at peak in Corona pandemic. Corona was there, everywhere there was Corona, and on return, including myself, 193 personnel, our personnel, suffered from Corona. And for God's grace, because we were doing good work there, and all the personnel were recovered from Corona, and after recovery, 105 personnel, our men, donated plasma for treatment of critically affected Corona patients in our state. That was also very much appreciated by our CM. Just to see a fireman is going to fight a situation, emergency situation in a neighboring state, in a Corona atmosphere, then returns after 15 days, suffers from Corona, undergoes a treatment, and he is admitted for treatment. After recovery, he again donates plasma for treatment of others. That is the sense of high sense of devotion to duty, their devotion for the organization, their devotion towards the state, their devotion towards the country. That implies, that is called the firemanship actually. But in many places you will see people are avoiding duties. There is Corona, how can we do this? How can I do this? Like this, like this. But that sense, that team spirit, that brigadeness, that has been developed in Odisha Fire Service. So we came from West Bengal successfully. And what is about our state? Our state, whatever calamities are there, whatever natural calamities are there, whatever the disasters are there, you might have heard there was a girl who was fallen into a borewell, and SDRF, NDRF was pressed into service. But it was in Odisha, in Anugul district, and our firemen successfully rescued him from 100 feet deep borewell. So we had a very, very success story behind us. So that is the basis, that is the foundation for making our state, ourselves so stronger, because government has no restriction. Government has failed that this organization.
It's a really amazing, wonderful journey and dedication, commitment of Odisha Fire Services. You have explained in a very brief manner. Now we are going to start asking few questions on the Odisha Fire Services. However, in between, participant will also ask you few questions. So my first question is to you, that Odisha is a prone to disaster area. It's fall under a critical zone. And what are the and it is said, while disaster, there are 3-4 phases to handle the disaster. One is pre-warning, when it means whenever you get alert, how much time before you getting the alert of any disaster or cyclone or whatever tsunami. It is one phase. Second phase is that when it strike, then later on rehabilitation and restore the life. So on the first part, I would like to ask to you, what are the warning arrangements or systems you are having in Odisha Fire Services, or from where you are getting such pre-warning alarm, which really help us, and we have seen that lot of lakhs of people life were saved in Odisha before striking any disaster. Please.
Okay, thank you. I understand your question. The thing is, so far as a cyclone and a flood is concerned, or a heavy rain, accumulation of a rainwater like that, when that comes, we naturally get a warning before 2 to 3 days. But Odisha Fire Service is the only fire service. We have a reserve force that is called striking force. So it has been equipped with all types of equipments, maybe flood, maybe disaster, maybe cyclone, maybe earthquake, building collapse, whatever may be. So this force is readily available with us at our headquarters. It is accommodated in one of our training centers. So whenever we get an information regarding the cyclone or flood, and when we are alerted that this may strike at that point, maybe at Ganjam district, maybe at Puri, maybe at Balaswar. So wherever it will strike, as we receive the information, our first duty is to mobilize our striking force. So which comprises about 10 teams. So immediately we mobilize 10 teams to that spot. Then we have fire stations all throughout the Odisha. So where there will be no disaster, there will be a less effect of a disaster, maybe cyclone, maybe whatever may be. So we start mobilizing then from that places to the places of to the affected places. So the team which will arrive before the disaster strikes, that team actually they help in evacuating the people. They know the cyclone is coming. It may affect the thatched roofs. It may affect the coastal district people. It may affect some temporary taken shelter places. So they help the district administration. The fire services people help the district administration to evacuate these people to safer places. We have a large number of shelter houses throughout the state, especially in the coastal district. Shelter houses have been equipped with all facilities. So these people, they are shifted to the shelter houses. So when the disaster strikes, at that time, the second team mobilized later on, they must be reaching the site and they will undertake the rescue and the restoration work. Restoration work includes cleaning of roads, because from the falling trees, the twisted wires will be removed, the electric poles will be removed, everything. These communication, we give importance on communication. Then we undertake the rescue, shift the people to the shelter houses, shelter places. If shelter places are not adequate, then we select some schools, colleges, where these peoples can be accommodated. So the first step is evacuating the people on prior intimation regarding approach of a disaster. Suppose one natural calamity is coming, that means we are prepared. First step is evacuate the people from where we expect that the disaster will strike. And in that process, our striking force, our reserve force, who are mobilized before the disaster struck, they help in evacuating these people. Then later on, our other people who are mobilized from the nearest districts, they will work as an enforcement unity to our previous unity. In this way, we work. And there is a close bonding between the Odisha Disaster Management, the ODRAF, Odisha Disaster Response Force, Odisha Fire Service, and the district administration. We have a close bonding, and it is being regulated from the central control room of the Odisha Disaster Management Authority, so that we can manage this successfully. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for giving the correct answer and how you are operating. That is a very good thing, so that other people also can learn about their how your system is being operated. Now I am coming to question you have said about the number of fire station in block wise. You are having setup of such a good fire station. So what is the response time for any emergency in Odisha?
Yes, the response is we have a fire station in every, so to say, in between 30 kilometer distance. That means the fire station has to cover only 15 kilometers to reach a site of distress. That means 15 kilometers means our turnout time suppose will be 1 minute, and the vehicle will proceed in a 48 kilometer speed or 50 kilometer speed. So within 10 to 12 minutes, we reach a site of distress from the time of occurrence.
Okay, sir. Any question from participant sides? कोई भी पार्टिसिपेंट को अगर क्वेश्चन पूछना है स्वाइन साहब से तो पूछ सकते हैं आप. नहीं है? Sir, what is the annual budget of fire services of Odisha and how much you are able to utilize it?
Our budget is we get about 50 crores rupees from around 50 crores from the SDMA, means USDOMA, Odisha Disaster Response Disaster Management Authority. We get about every year we get about 50 crores rupees, and normally our normal allotment towards purchase of equipments and everything that from the state allotment, that is around from every year around 20 crores rupees. So in every year we get around 60 to 70 crores rupees to build ourselves. It is above our salaries, staff, house rent, other expenses, other contingencies. It is only for equipment we are getting about 70 crores rupees every year.
Okay, sir. And what are the earning source of Odisha Fire Services?
We have no directly earning sources, but we have our own rule, Odisha Fire Prevention and Fire Safety Rule. And as per the provisions of a rule, anybody who applies for a fire certificate, he has to deposit 2 rupees per square meter area. So in this way, we earn something that directly goes to government treasury. So we have nothing to do with that. But government has said, you don't worry, even we have submitted a proposal to raise that amount from 2 rupees to 10 rupees, because Telangana Fire Service is having perhaps 15 to 20 rupees per square meter. West Bengal Fire Service is having also that about 15 to 20 rupees. So we have tried to raise it, but our government said that we have not restrained or constrained the allotment for your development and upliftment. Why you are insisting upon this? So that is the only way, that no other ways of earning.
Sir, my next question is about what is the status of fire safety audit and how you are managing fire prevention in Odisha state?
We have Odisha Fire Prevention Fire Safety Rule 2017. We had a Odisha Fire Service Act 1993. So it has been mandated, and the people, we have the online system, Agnisam Seva portal, and everybody applies for fire safety certificate through Agnisam Seva portal. So we have a query management time limit for issuing the certificate, and our officers on reaching when one application somebody applies for a fire safety certificate or a recommendation, then only an alert message goes to the authorized officer concerned of the jurisdiction. So they undertake site inspection and issue certificate online itself. So that is being best managed, and we are also going on amending. But there are not so much high-rise buildings like that of other developed states. We have some high-rise buildings in Bhubaneswar and in Raurkela, in some places, but not like that of Ahmedabad or Surat or Delhi. So we manage it with ourselves, and we have at Bhubaneswar we have already 6 hydraulic platforms, and we are also going to purchase 2 more this time. So we shall have a small city like Bhubaneswar. We are going to have about 6 to 8 hydraulic platforms for high-rise buildings. So, and one important thing I will insist upon from my experience, that recently you must have seen many fire accidents in hospitals. It was there in UP, in Safdarjung hospital, in Ahmedabad, in Nagpur, in Ujjain. So recently there are many fires in hospitals. So also there are two major hospitals in Odisha also. Three major hospitals, major fire accidents. One is in some hospital in since that, but recently there was a fire accident in Sadhguru Hospital in Cuttack and in Sunshine Hospital in Cuttack. And you will be astonished to know that in both the cases there was not a single casualty. Why and how it happened? These hospitals have no fire safety certificate. We had inspected it, but we have not issued the fire safety certificate because there are some lapses and shortfalls in the fire installation. So, but the hospital was running and there was a fire call. So we have discussed it in our senior officers meeting in presence of our DG and other officers, and we decided let us go for creating public awareness in hospitals, hotels and educational institutions. So we made it mandatory for our officers to visit every hospital in every fortnight. That means in every 15 days, one of our officers of the jurisdiction will visit one hospital, and he will ensure and see that. That is, the motto is to sensitize the staff how to evacuate, how to combat if a fire situation, fire accident occurs before reaching of the fire service. And that is working wonderfully. And in 3 to 4 fires in Odisha recently, we had no experience of casualties. Everything was okay. All the patients were evacuated in time.
Okay, sir. What is the incident statistics in Odisha? Malik Saab is asking some question. Malik Saab, please ask.
Yes, welcome, sir. Welcome.
SWAIN ji, my name is A.K. Malik. I am Deputy Chief Fire Officer in Delhi Fire Service.
Okay.
As you have just informed that your officers are visiting after every 15 days to the hospitals.
Yes.
In this regard, my query is very particular. Suppose your officers goes for a awareness program in a hospital, which is in the preview of your act and rules. However, the hospitals is not issued with FSC or fire safety certificate, or he had not applied, and your officer goes for a awareness campaign there in a building which is under your preview. Then what action your officer take for the provisions which are stipulated under the provisions of your act and rules?
We have the provision, the officer, authorized officer can seal the building, he can initiate a prosecution procedure, he can initiate a prosecution procedure. But we thought that is not the solution. In the present situation, in the present, especially in this corona pandemic situation, if we go for these things, then only we shall draw the not sympathy but apathy of the public, that they closed the hospital for which we could not undertake the treatment. So we had only one alternative, that we shall sensitize the staff that how to evacuate the people in case of fire accidents. But we have provisions that we can seal the building, we can start a prosecution against the defaulters, but we are not going for that.
That means you say that whenever your officer visit for a awareness program and he comes to know that building is in purview of your act and rules and not complied with the legal provisions which are required as per law, then he does not. You are saying that he is not applying the provisions of the act and rules. So this is a catch-22 situation for your officer, because if fires are happening, accidents are happening because the systems, the building or the occupancy, hospitals presently are overloaded, and all the systems are basically overloaded of a hospital. So this will be a catch situation for your officer. Suppose a accident happened, he visited for a awareness program, he provided the awareness to the staff and all that, and after one day, if a accident happen in that building, then what will be the position or legal position of your officer who have visited for awareness program there, who is competent to take the action?
Yes, that actually happened. When there was a fire accident in Sadhguru Hospital, 2 days before our officer had been to that hospital, they created that the awareness program, they sensitized the staff, they did the evacuation drill, Then they came out. Then after 2 days there was an accident. And as per his suggestion, as per the practice, as per the mock drill they have done there, all the patients were evacuated. There was a loss to the property, the ICU and to the hospital gadgets, but there was no loss of life. So there was nobody to ask question why there was a fire accident and why fire service could not do anything, because there was no loss of life. Had
Yes,
there been a loss of life, there would have been many types of questions that these people they came, they didn't seal the hospital. That is expected. That is expected. But now, under present situation, we are not in a position to stop any hospital or seal any hospital. And we cannot also force them that within 15 days you install the gadgets, comply our shortfalls, otherwise we shall seal. We are not also in that position. So the only solution left just to sensitize them to manage.
sir, my question is that you are saying that you are not in a position to take action. What is the reason behind that? Because Supreme Court has already given clear-cut order in a recent case that within 3 months all such hospitals needed to be cleared, needed to have a fire safety certificate. And when a order is passed by a Supreme Court, that is a law.
I want to answer like this. Recently, Delhi government has declared 16 hotels into hospital. Why? To accommodate the corona patients. Government and the Delhi government knew that these are not hospitals and these are not facilitated with all hospital facilities required. Till they have declared it as a hospital, because the situation has become such. We cannot go against the interest of the people. Our family members are suffering. We want to put them into the hospital. And at this juncture, if we go on sealing the hospital, stopping the hospital, naturally the people will be against the fire services, not against the rule or like that. Rule is for the betterment of the people. We have the rule to enforce it. But the situation during this pandemic situation, if you go for that, I think that will be retaliating for us.
Sir,
No, I agree with all the points.
Like Malik sir told that it is a Supreme Court order. Suppose you are saying that you need to facilitate the human, that is this COVID situation. In case of fire, somebody's life lost, and then somebody is being called in Supreme Court, then they will ask that you why you are not following this law. Then what
I can answer like this. Can you, my dear officer, can you say that if the fire safety measures taken in a hospital is full-fledged and there will be no fire and there will be no loss of life, can you say like this? No.
I will reply that.
And listen, sir. And a certificate, fire safety certificate cannot be a guarantee against loss of human lives. If you have a certificate, and can you give guarantee that once a certificate has been issued, NOC has been issued, means it is a guarantee that there will be no loss of life? Yes, we have a rule, we have to enforce it, but we have to also see the situation and the demand of the situation, how to move ahead.
Swainji,
This juncture can.
Swainji,
Yes,
may I say something? I fully agreed with all your human views, but as you said, an FSC is not a certification that no fire accident will take place. That is 100% you have said rightly. Because a FSC or a fire safety certificate given by authority just is a document which says that the building is legally complied with the norms required as per law. This only says that. But now the question arises, do you have any written instructions from the government to your officers, to your department, not to initiate the actions under your provisions of your act and rules? Do you have anything in writing with you, or your officers are dealing on human grounds only?
It is not any written order. I agree, it is not any written order is issued that you will not take any legal action against
Malik sir, I request you to take next question. because you know both
Sir.
technical people are you, both of you technical people. So let's give a chance to other participant if they have any questions. Later on, we will again come back with new question from Malik Saab.
Dr. Chaturvedi sir, I would like to ask one question.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is to our guest speaker today. As we come to know about your dedications throughout your case.
Your voice is not coming. You have put mute your mic.
Sorry. Sir, this is Milin Shah from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. My question to our guest today, sir, we come to know from your lecture, from your speech that Odisha has been a most vulnerable state with the natural calamities, sir. With the threatening of natural calamities, right, sir? And you are not confined your services up to only your state, but you have gone through the nearby state also as well as throughout the country also as a part of the disaster management. Sir, in this scenario, and you are also taking regular training and regular mitigation classes, everything. So in that scenario, sir, you like the other state fire officers, you have never felt the shortage of the fire officers in your state, sir?
Yes, that's a good question. But we have whatever shortage of officers are there. These are the vacancies. We are not able to conduct the recruitment process. But government has not imposed any restriction. Our officers are overburdened due to all these things. But government has not imposed any restriction that you held up the recruitment at this juncture. You cannot have the excess staff or any restriction. So we have a free hand. But government has fixed a parameter. That means one fire station means there will be minimum 15 personnel. So we have 24/7 duty like that of police, not 18-hour duties in shift duties. So our officers are overburdened, but they take it as a pleasure when they get doing these things, when they go for outside missions, when they undertake these disaster mitigation work inside the state, and people appreciate fire service personnel with a special costume, having a red tracksuit and a yellow banyan. So they enjoy their duties. No officer has said ever that we are overworked.
Sir, I want to interrupt you in between your communication. What about the firefighters' work-life balance? If they are overstretched for the pleasure of others, then what about their family work-life balance?
Yes, that is a question. Naturally, it will hamper their personal life, social life, because they are 24 hours engaged. So that is there. I cannot avoid these things. But whatever already we have to manage as a disaster. What do you mean by disaster management? We have to manage the things with whatever limited resources you have. We have a limited resource, but we manage it to do the things and bring out the best out of that.
Because after this long stretch service, or firefighter remain in stress, ultimately after retirement life become horrible. He will not able to take pension. Sometimes most of the firefighters died after retirement due to cardiac arrest, lot of disease, mental sickness, because they are throughout the entire service career. Nobody has think of about their personal needs. Means you can say social life, work-life balance experience. So what is the mechanism for your Odisha fire services for stress management, and how do you ensure the work and the social life balance, and what is the condition of leave?
We have now thought about an alternative, and we are granting them 1 day off in a week. We have started this in our state now, realizing the things you have
one day weekly off, sir. 1 day weekly off is mandatory. You are not giving extra thing to them.
That is not mandatory. They have their leave. They are allowed 45 days earned leave in a year, 20 days casual leave. In addition to that, recently we have started a 1 day off in a week for every firefighter because we know under circumstances the government will not sanction so much force for a 8 hour duty or a shift duty. But in some states like our Andhra Pradesh, I found they get an off duty in every 74 hours. But we are having a off duty after in every week. Sir.
Okay, and sir, what about the stress management? How you able to manage your firefighter as well as your stress? Because you are working a very responsible position, 24 by 7. You will be also in stress. How you are managing your stress as well as your team member stress?
That is a very difficult question for me. Stress management, when stress comes when we are overburdened with work, naturally stress comes, and many people they also undergo through stress situation. But nowadays only their relaxation is they do yoga or like that. But actually we have no any classified or defined structures for stress management.
Sir,
Okay, sir. Now, Malik sir, you want to ask? Malik sir?
This is stress management you will find nowhere in any fire service in India, and whereas the fact is that all the staff as well as the officers are overburdened, they are short in strength. As in the morning, Mr. Shammi was telling that fire services are short of staff. So this is in every fire service you will find out that we perform a long duty hours with a lot of burden and lot of excess work. This is everywhere and you will find nowhere. No such practices are adopted in India.
Sir, I would like to add one very important point, sir. Sir, I'm going to intervene. One very important point, sir. If the government of India has defined a shifting for all 24 by 7 units to do a work in shift basis, like 88 hours, why not in the fire brigade? Because the extension hour of doing the work on the name of worship with your work, we respect, sir. We highly salute to you, sir. But extended work of the duty will somehow enhance, hamper your performance also, sir. That is also not good for your life, not good, neither good for the citizens' life, sir.
No, I can reply that. Basically, what happens? It is the shortage for Delhi Fire Service. I will tell you. 10, 11, 12 years before, the High Court given an order to implement the shift system in Delhi Fire Service for the staff. However, this could not be implemented till date because every time when we go for a recruitment, suppose we go for a 1,000 person recruitment, we find only 400 or 500. So we always remain short of a staff. That's why it cannot be implemented till date. There are certain reasons for that.
Malik sir, on this continuation on this discussion, I want to have a suggestion. If I don't know whether it is feasible to Indian scenario, but in abroad there are core firefighters are only 20-25%. Rest are volunteers. Why can't we induct volunteers in India? In your case, you are not able to finding the people.
I agree with you, sir.
Sir, can you compare the conditions of the countries with India, or those countries, their ethics?
No, sir. I'm just because we need to explore. Can we think about like Mumbai Fire Brigade? Mumbai Fire Brigade has started this volunteer firefighter, and Surat has started, but these firefighters remain on training only. They have never been utilized on actual emergency.
The reason is that, sir, because in India we are a very highly populated country, and lot of fire calls and different emergency calls are there for a fire service to attend. So in those countries for which you are talking about for volunteer services, their fire incidents are very less. They have very good fire prevention implementation in those countries.
The thing is, I would like to intervene. The thing is, we have the shortage of, and you know the situation of the government. Tell me just in which state the government has allowed 8-hour duty, because it is a state list. Fire service comes under state list, and the state government everything depends on the financial capacity. So
Maheshwar sir,
only
Maheshwar sir,
corporations are allowing 8-hour duty, but I think no state has allowed
sir,
8-hour duty.
there is a Vadodara Fire Services where 8 hours duty is continued since long year.
Yes, I said this corporation fire services they are doing, but state fire services are not allowing 8 hours duty. But this is a question we had a very good answer.
Reason is that they never think of it. If they think, sincerely they can think, then it can be happen. There are challenges. As you told, there is no budget constraint to Odisha. No fire services is getting huge budget like Odisha. I think so.
चतुर्वेदी जी, सुप्रीम हाई कोर्ट के ऑर्डर के बाद भी इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ है दिल्ली फायर सर्विस में, तो वी आर नॉट एबल टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट टिल डेट.
So the present alternative is what our one of our participants said. I think going for auxiliary fire force, that is fire volunteers, will to some extent will diminish the load of the firefighters in the state. We should all go for that. And we are
in my opinion, why volunteers are not able to contribute, because there is no monetary benefit to them. If suppose you are saying these are the fire volunteers and they will get 1,000 rupees on every fire call, then these group of people who are being trained, or we are giving a thought to be trained, then only it can be utilized. Otherwise, free में सेवा करने के लिए कोई तैयार नहीं है ना सर.
Sir, I have a valued suggestion, sir. Please, if you allow me to speak, sir, on this regards.
Yeah, please.
Sir, Government of India has imposed a rule for the first year or final year student of any graduation to go for the internship. 1 year internship with any NGO, compulsorily, sir. So why not the same students can be utilized for the basic training and awareness and prevention for the fire and disaster management? Because I have conducted the internship in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, for burns awareness, fire prevention and disaster management, sir. The same way we can take the students on a volunteer basis to learn and to make the others learn about the fire awareness and prevention, sir. So we can reduce our workload with the awareness point of view, sir. That way we can reduce the incidents.
Okay, Malik sir, please.
May I know who was speaking this right now?
I am Milind Shah from Ahmedabad, sir. From Beam Foundation. Yeah.
Milind, with this idea we have already taken with GGS IPU recently, and we told them to have the internship in Delhi Fire Service at least 25% of their each batch, whether it is the BBA, MCA, whatever batch they have. We requested them to provide 25 internship to Delhi Fire Service for this purpose only.
Very good. Very good,
What
Malik
happened,
sir.
sir?
It's a nice initiative. Please, Malik sir.
yes, in Odisha, we have declared Home Guards as auxiliary fire force, and we are going to declare civil defense volunteers as auxiliary fire forces, and a Home Guard gets 500 rupees per day. Whenever we engage Home Guards for firefighting purposes with our team, they just get their dues. But we are now going to enroll civil defense volunteers into our fleet as auxiliary fire force. That means they will be the fire volunteers whenever there will be excess load of work during disasters or any fairs, festivals, fire protection duty in fairs and festivals. These people, they can be utilized. That is the way we are finding solution to this problem.
Okay, sir. It's a nice discussion. Now I am coming to my last question, but participant can ask you more question. My last question is, what are the technology updation and upgradation in Odisha fire services you have done? And second question in same question is that, what is the outcome of that fire safety technology park inaugurated by Chief Minister of Odisha?
Yes. This is one of the new thing we have implemented, that is called Fire Park. The objective is to create a fire awareness among the people, and whenever, especially the students are a focus group, and when every Saturday it is open for the public, and we have just converted our fire academy into a fire park. That means it is converted for one day, that is on Saturday for 3 to 4 hours as a fire park. And that academy has been duly equipped with many things so that people will appreciate this. There are many stalls for different types of rescue, different types of firefighting and disaster management. And these stalls are there. The people visit the stall. Our boys, they show the demonstration to them. Even if underwater, suppose scuba diving, using the scuba, they go about 35 feet deep into the water and execute some work and show to the people that you see we did this. So people appreciate these things. We ask them to visit our exhibition hall, and then we show also feelings on our every year work. Suppose whatever we had done for the society in 2019, we have made a documentary and we just play that and people see and enjoy that, yes, our fire brethren are doing these things for us. So it is a step towards creating public awareness, inculcating a sense of safety among the public.
One thing I would like to inform Swainji, I just missed it in between, and that is that he said that certain occupancies were converted in Delhi for the COVID patients. In this regard, I would like to just inform only those occupancies were allowed to convert which complied the legal provision required for fire prevention and fire safety measures. Those are only permitted in Delhi.
I say, Malik sir, I want to say this, but the hotel was allowed legally. They have the fire safety certificate to run a hotel, not a hospital. And now you have converted into a hospital. That means that hotel is issued with a certificate for a residential purpose as a hotel comes under residential building. But it is now converted into institutional. So these are the compromises we have.
No compromise in Delhi. Hotels are only permitted for the what you say is quarantine buildings. Only banquet halls were converted for hospital, and banquet halls is a class D occupancy which is already having a higher protection level than institutional building. That's why they are permitted. There is no compromise.
Okay. We are not supplied with it so much detail, but we came to, from news, we came to know that some hotels have been converted into a. In the last time during Corona in Odisha, they also converted some of the places, schools, dormitories into the Corona for quarantine purpose.
For quarantine purpose.
Quarantine purposes.
Quarantine is residential basically.
Okay, sir. Malik sir, I think more than 1 hour we have spent with MAHWSWAR SWAIN sir. So what will be the final quote, or you want to give a statement on our Fire Safe Bharat Series 7? What you want to conclude and what you want to share with the participant? What is your signing off message?
Yes. First, I want to thanks to the organizers for such a good and a foresight endeavor to go ahead with the fire safety measures in India and have interaction with so many people, intellectuals who are experts in the field of fire services. This will help to exchange their views so that they can also develop like this. This is a platform where I want to just inform you that you were asking about the statistics of our fire calls in Odisha. We have about 20,000 fire calls we attend in a year, and we have also so many equal number of about 16 to 19,000. That is excluding the disaster response. So you can imagine about 50,000 emergency calls we are attending. But the thing is, about this platform, I am very, very happy. Thanks to Mr. Swastik Jadajaji, who gave me this opportunity to share with you all eminent persons knowledgeable people. But my message will be, sir, I again say firefighting is a thankless job, and if you want to be applauded, to be appreciated as a firefighter, you have to mold yourself, change yourself, move towards a disaster response force. That is my message to all of you. What we are doing in Odisha now, we actually enjoy our profession because of the disaster response force, because of a force to respond to all types of emergencies, not limited to fire. Wherever there is a fire, हम गाली खाते हैं, but where there is a disaster, there is other emergencies, we get the bouquet from the people. I will show you, if possible, a picture where the people offer Diwali to our firefighters during this disaster time, and that is the pleasure of enjoying your profession. That is all from.
Sir, it's a wonderful.
Sir, please allow me to say something, sir. Sir,
Yes, sir.
I'm
Sir, please allow me.
inviting to Mr. Swastik Jadeja, who is the organizer of this event and who is the brainchild behind this entire event, and giving opportunity to have a discussion with different versatile experienced people. Swastik,
Ji.
would you like to say something?
Yeah, thank you very much, SWAIN sir, for the nice interactions, lectures for making fire safe Bharat. And thank you very much, Dr. Rakesh Chaturvedi साहब and all. Thank you. काफी अच्छा सेशन रहा और knowledge sharing, it is very important factors for the upgradation of the fire services management. You know all very well. So thank you very much, all participants. अगर किसी को कोई questions हो last, तो please.
Yeah, and one more thing, SWAIN sir, are you open to develop a capacity of other fire services if they come down to your Odisha?
Yes, we are already doing these things. We have recently we had a team of firefighters from Kerala, and we are regularly giving training to the Andhra Pradesh fire services. Now we have a training from Nagaland fire services, and so also the NFSA sponsored sub-officer are also being trained.
For your information, Rakesh ji, Odisha Fire Service has organized one fire commando training center at Bhubaneswar. So he is also former principal, and they have done very good job in BSA drills, which I have seen on WhatsApp. He has sent me.
Yeah, I have seen underwater expertise they are having. And what are these training at chargeable basis, or these are free?
No, sir. There is a fees system is there. They have to deposit for a 6 months course. They have to deposit around 12,000 rupees in government treasury. For this is already there in our rules, so we cannot go away with that. And for 1 month training or 1 week training, the charges are very less. Suppose for 1 week or 3 days training, there is a charges of 500 rupees, then 1,500, then 3,000, 5,000, like that. Maximum is 12,000 rupees for 6 months training.
Okay,
and
if possible, please share the detail of training schedule of Odisha Fire Services, so that few of our team member can send it our team to capacity building and get expertise and synchronization with your Odisha Fire Services. Please share this data to Mr. Swastik so that he can circulate to the needy fire services which are willing to develop their capacity building program along with Odisha Fire Services. So
welcome, sir. Welcome. I will do it. I will share it. And as regards Jadeja was telling that our boys are trained, suppose on a BSET, their eyes will be short, and the BSET will be open like this. The backplate is alag, the cylinder is alag, the face mask is alag. Everything will be kept aside, and he will be asked to assemble, and you will see they are assembling it and putting it. That level of a training we maintain.
Okay, sir. So this is a final sign off from Dr. Rakesh Chaturvedi, Adani Port, Mundra. This event is being powered by Life Protector Association, which is a NGO, and the organizer is Mr. Swastik Jadeja, who is operating Fire Safe Bharat Mission. So continue. We will looking for your support in a same manner, same energy level. Thank you very much, Malik Saab and all participants and Swastik.
Sir, last comment from my side, sir.
Signing off.
Sir, last comment from my side, sir. If you allow me. Sir, Swine was telling that fire official job is a thankless job, sir. I am highly disagreed.
No. Pardon. I have not said that fire officers job is thankless. I
Milind,
said
Milind, you might be agree or not agree. You might be agree or not agree. It is an experience. The Swine Saab has shared his experience.
Sir, I would like to add on.
It is not mandatory that it suit to you. It's up to you. Somebody is saying it is a very good job.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Then their choice is there because he has said these things. Because if you go practically, you go with his word. What he said that when you respond to the emergency, damage has already done.
So there is no fault of our officers for that. There is a fault of people, sir.
If you are in that situation, if you are able to save somebody's life, then there is no issue. And in practically, fire service is a thankless job. Nobody is bother you. After getting their work done, they forget you. That is the story behind this.
I said firefighting is a thankless job. I have not said that fire officers are thankless.
Sir, this firefighting. Sorry, firefighting. I'm sorry. Firefighting.
Yes.
Sir, I raised one slogan for the firefighters. You are the angels of Almighty, sir. आप ईश्वर के दूत हो, सर. जो जलती आग में जाते हैं, इतना हिम्मत करते हैं, लोगों को बचाते हैं. अगर किसी की लाइफ नहीं बचती है, किसी की प्रॉपर्टी नहीं बचती है, तो सर उसमें आपका कोई फायर फाइटर का कोई कसूर नहीं है. It is their responsibility first to respond to fire, how to manage the fire, sir. It is not a fault of firefighting department, sir. We should take this message very clearly to the society, sir. So they have to learn.
It is in present context in India. In present context in India.
The funda of remain happy is keep yourself light, fly high. Okay. So finally sign off. Thank you all participants. Bye. See you next. Okay.
May I leave, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to everybody who participated and gave me opportunity to say something. Thank you all of you. Enjoy your profession so that you will get pleasure out of it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.